You are now watching The Lone Blown. Blown!
If you're looking for one of the best places to buy codes online, look no further than atlaspokemart.com. You can use the code TheLoneBlown12 to save 12% off all of your instantly emailed codes. They got a lot of great codes on this website, such as Darkness Ablaze, Rebel Clash, so if you're looking for anything to complete any of your collections, head over here, and the codes are great price as well. Thanks! Yo, what's poppin' peeps? You're back here at The Lone Blown. Thanks so much for stopping by, and today we're going to be going over a deck that absolutely tore up this weekend, played by one of the best players in the absolute world. We got Jose Marrero. They came in second with an updated Blacephalon list. Now, I know this channel is The Lone Blown Blacephalon. I'm personally a fan of Blacephalon GX, but don't get me wrong, I always get hyped up for some Baby Bloun's action. I've played this deck a few times. I think it's pretty cool. Now, do I think Jose's list is perfect? No. Even on Twitter, he's like, yeah, this Mimikyu is meant to beat the Mewtwo matchup. I usually already beat it already. So overall, if you're looking to change this, I would probably cut this Mimikyu for like another Jirachi and maybe change up some of the fire energies. But you want to know what? Today we're going to give this list all its full glory in a PTCGO deck profile and playthrough today. And the reason why is because I think a lot of players look at lists, they take the exact decks that do well at tournaments and they play them on the ladder. So especially if you're coaching, testing, playing on the ladder, whatever, these are the decks that are going to be very relevant, especially if you're playing in important PTCGO tournaments, such as the Hedster TCG, the Hyperluxe, any event like that. So be sure to check it out. The list, copy and pastable list is in the description, along with a bunch of social links. Feel free to check it out. Follow me on social media. Subscribe to the channel while you're at it. And if you're missing any of the cards for this deck, you can go to atlaspokemart.com and use code TheLoneBlown12. So how does Baby Blacephalon work? Let me run you through this. So Baby Blacephalon, we got Fireball Circus, and that's basically the only attack you want to use. Blazer is a situational attack. So you can turn one of your face down prize cards face up, and if it's a fire, it does more damage. That's cute against knocking out Jirachi and all that, but it's really for the Fireball Circus. So for Fire, which we could easily power up due to Welder in this deck, we can go Fireball Circus, discard as many fire energies as you'd like from your hand. It does 50 per. So if you want to knock out a Dedenne-GX, you need to do 4 energies, 160, which would be 200 damage overall. If you need to knock out Crobat, 4 energies. If you need to knock out Eternatus VMAX, that's going to require 7 energies. But that's at the cost of just being a single prize card Pokemon. So if you're drawing 3 prize cards for 1 prize cards, it's usually a trade-off that works, even if your deck's a little bit slower than your opponent's. So we have Cramorant here. Really big catch is a secondary attack here that can allow us to search out our deck if things are running a little grim or if we have the time to do so. Spit Shot is a great way to snipe a Dedenne to draw 2 prize cards. Crobat has added consistency with Dark Asset. Got Zigzagoon. I mean, the deck already plays Scoop Up Net, so there's no reason not to include Zigzagoon, especially if you want to do like 10 damage, 10 damage, 10 damage, 10 damage, so you only need to discard 7 energies or 6 energies instead of 7 energies on an Eternatus VMAX, or maybe something just has 160, such as Dedenne-GX. You want to discard 3 energies, you could just ping it once. Zigzagoon's not bad. I personally would probably be playing Energy Retrieval in this deck instead of the extra fire energies and cards like Zigzagoon. But I'm also not the one that came second at the Hyperluxe event, which is pretty prestigious. So, I mean, take my word as much as you'd like, but feel free to give this deck a whirl. Went over Blacephalon, Dedenne-GX, similar to Crobat V. We do have Dead-A change, so you could just pitch your hand away and draw 6. Jirachi, Consistency Crutch, grabbing out Welders, Giant Hearths, etc. Zacian's pretty cool in the deck. I mean, I don't necessarily have any problems with it. It's just, if you don't get the Fireball Circus off on your first turn, it's one of those things where, I mean, it's just going to happen, right? Like, you just draw some cards. That's all this Intrepid Sword is going to do. It's just going to draw some cards. We have Mewtwo, which can allow us to just get back Welder or Boss's Orders on top of our deck, which is pretty cool. Jirachi, you could put it on top, use it with Jirachi, get out of the active. Now, Jose did play a Mimikyu. The Mimikyu worked with the Zigzagoon, so Mewtwo wouldn't have abilities. He said on his personal Twitter, you could follow him at Jose_Morero TCG. You can... He said he wasn't really a fan of this card at all, unfortunately. He was already beating Mewtwo's. Oricorio is great, so if your opponent knocks out one of your Pokemon, you could just use Dance of Tribute, draw an extra 3 cards. That will help you getting extra energy in your hand for Fireball Circus. Running through the trainers and everything else, we got put 3 Fire Energy back from your discard pile. Really good synergy with Fireball Circus, seems to work there. Got Ordinary Rod to grab back some of our baby Blacephalon. We got some of our ways to grab back our other Pokemon. Maybe they knocked out Oricorio-GX. Quick Ball, searching our stuff out. Scoop up net to get things back. Switch to get out of the active spots. Giant Hearth to grab those fire energies. Boss Order to bring up whatever we like. Welder, because that's our main acceleration. And then we have 19 fires because we have 19 fires. Again, if I would do any changes, I would add in some energy retrievals, maybe some extra Pokemon search. I'm really worried about the consistency, especially like in a lot of these things are best of 1, not best of 3. But if you're playing on the ladder, sure, give this deck a whirl. I think, like I said, it's cool to see Baby Blacephalon come back in this format after we thought it would die off since Fiery Flint, Heat Factory, Big Blacephalon. A lot of these great cards have rotated out of it. This deck, it seems like it's going to be really good for a while, especially in a format filled with VMAX, Tag Team GXs, and Pokemon that are even weak to fire, such as Zacian V when it's played normally as a deck. So, like I said, give it a whirl, subscribe to the channel. That's the last time I'm going to say this video, I think. And check out the list, it's copy and pasteable there. Let's jump into some games. Okay, so we lost the flip, that's cool. Let's see what Sparks PT is going to be. What are they going to go with? Okay, so we're starting with Jirachi here. That's pretty promising. See what Stellar Wish brings us here before we go in with anything. So I think Quick Ball definitely sounds like the correct play here. Now, I'm assuming we're not playing against Mewtwo, so I'm going to take away Mimikyu because that only is going to block against GX Pokemon. This is a matchup I probably want to get Zacian V out in, just since we can't play the Welder on the first turn. So, might be counterproductive if we're playing ADP because it adds a 3 prize card Pokemon for them. 2 prize cards plus the additional effect of Altered Creation. But let's go for Intrepid Sword to try to draw in some more stuff. As you can see, we got the Baby Blacephalon, we got the Welder. So, we're in a pretty good spot for next turn to draw at least 2 prize cards. At least that's what I feel. I think we'll be able to draw 3 prize cards pretty easily. Cape of Toughness, ADP, yeah, typical stuff. If our opponent's not able to get out of the active spot, we can take 2 prize cards before they use Altered Creation, which could put them in a terrible spot. So we could just show Baby Blacephalon just destroying, exploding against an ADP here. We'll see. If they don't get out of the active spot, it's our best case scenario. I mean, I guess we could also get them before they Altered Creation. If they just don't use Altered Creation GX this turn, I should say. In order to do that, they need to get a Metal Saucer, a Turbo Patch, one of those 2 cards, an Energy Switch, and a way out of the active spot, whether it's an Air Balloon or a Switch. And they're just going straight for the Intrepid Sword. So we got options. Okay, there's another Fire Energy. That's actually looking really good for us. So before we do anything here, I mean, I guess we could just always go Blacephalon. Let's go Welder first and then Jirachi because Giant Hearth would get us there. Okay. Come on, Stellar Wish. Scoop Up Net, I think, also gets us there. We attach our energy 1 to 100, yes. So we're going to go for the Scoop Up Net. The Zigzagoon is going to work for us here. So we'll go Zigzagoon 10. Scoop Up Net, Zigzagoon 10. So maybe I was a little harsh on the Zigzagoon before. Let's go ahead, switch. I'm going to drop the other baby Blacephalon in case my opponent goes Marnie or anything like that. And let's use Fireball Circus. We're only discarding 2 energies because our opponent's just getting knocked out. 200 damage, weakness. Another Fire Energy, we love to see it. And a Quick Ball. So we got some options here. We could always grab a Crobat V out of the deck. We want to be careful about how many 2 prize card Pokemon, because they turn into 3 prize card Pokemon against an Altered Creation GX. But we got some options here. We need to find 6 energies is the goal this turn. And so far we have 2 of them in our discard pile. Fire Crystal banks our energies pretty nicely. We have a 3rd energy. We don't need to necessarily attach anything, so we're looking for 3 more energies at this moment. Now, our opponent could swoop in and play something like Big Charm. They already play Cape of Toughness. We do need to keep that in mind. Okay, there's their Air Balloon. Maybe they're just trying to thin cards out, or they're already discarding. We don't have to worry about an HP modifier this time, so we only need to find 6 energies total. What's our opponent going to do here? Dedenne-GX. Oh, I don't know if I would ever research away to Dedenne-GX. It takes away a lot of options if you're looking for something later on in the game. I really don't know what you could be searching for at that point, but I'm sure our opponent has their own reasons. So now we only need to find 2 energies at this rate. So let's go Quick Ball, discard a Fire Energy. And we are going to go for the Crobat V. Because there's nothing else that we necessarily need to get here. So there's Giant Hearth, and I think we actually get it here. We have 3 in our discard pile, a 4th in our hand. And then Giant Hearth, with us having 19 in our deck, we still have plenty left. So, I mean, our case seems pretty ideal. We're going to be, on our 3rd turn of the game, we're drawing our 5th prize card. So let's go Fireball Circus. And with us leaving down to 1 prize card, we might just be able to get it, especially if we can get like a Welder. The thing that's tough is we keep on getting back these fire crystals, and we don't necessarily need them. I mean, I guess we're only a Welder away from winning the game, especially if our opponent just goes for a knockout. I'm also fine with the Viridian Forest here, just because of the amount of energies that we have with Fire Crystal. Okay, perfect. So there's a Brave Blade. I feel pretty good about that. Let's see what we could do here. If we could get into a Welder, that would be amazing. I'm not going to use Viridian right now because I don't necessarily want to discard any more fire energies than we have to. Let's just start off with Stellar Wish. Okay, Stellar Wish is going to get Ordinary Rod out. I'm not too worried about Ordinary Rod at this moment. I'm going to attach here. I'm going to Scoop Up Net the Jirachi. And let's go for a Deadeye Change. We can't really do too much else. So let's just go for Deadeye Change. We're really like a Welder away from like winning this game. And I think we actually got it here. So let's go. Let's just double check. We have 3 energies. Yeah, we're going to discard a Welder to grab a Fire Energy. See how much damage we could do with this deck. Oricorio is great. For a moment, they just knocked out our Pokemon last turn. So let's go Dance of Tribute to draw some more cards. And there's our Fire Crystal. Our opponent will get knocked out due to weakness. 300 damage. So we were able to win on our 4th turn quicker than an ADP deck. Okay, so we just won the flip. Do we want to go first? No, we don't. We typically want to go second with this deck so we can get a Welder off. And this is one of those hands where I'm worried about the deck being inconsistent just because like 19 fire energies means you're going to get a hand filled with energies at certain times. But that's okay. We might be a top deck away from getting something out here. The deck doesn't have a lot going for it, especially with just 4 Welders, a lot of energies. So you might want to make the deck a little bit more consistent if you want to avoid having situations like this happen a whole bunch. So we'll see exactly how this goes. I mean, we might just top deck and lose. But situations, I've faced hands like this and I've been able to win games before. That's not saying I'm going to win this game by any means. I'm looking at it and I'm like, yep, I should probably just concede already. But let's see exactly what happens this game. Our opponent seems to be popping off. Looks like they're playing ADP. They're probably like, what is this Mimikyu doing in the deck? They're like, oh, now they know exactly what's going on with this hand. Yeah. See what they get with their Primate Wisdom. Their hand might be bad too. Guess we'll see what happens next turn. So we grabbed a boss's orders. I mean, here our best chance at survival is boss orders, attach, and pass. See what our opponent does. They either have a supporter card or they're going to use Primate Wisdom. We might buy ourselves some time. I'm just going to use Tail Trickery at this point. There's no reason for us not to, but this is the real unfortunate situation, I guess. I don't know what to say. We vibin'. Ah. They got us. That's okay. It totally happens. So we're playing against Snake's TCG. We won the flip. Would we like to go first? We want to go second with this deck, just so we could use Welder on our first turn. And I mean, this hand's not fantastic. It's not terrible. But with 19 fire energies, you do have to expect hands with like 4 of them. And it looks like our opponent's playing Decidueye. This should be a very difficult matchup for them. So Baby Blacephalon is well placed in the metagame. The thing that hurts it the most is it's inconsistent. Okay. Maybe our opponent will just pass here. Going Big Charm there. The Big Charm, unfortunately, is not going to save them. Similar to the other game that we played in this video against Zacian ADP, Pokemon with weakness do not really do well against Baby Blacephalon, unfortunately. So there's a Baby Blacephalon. Our opponent might scoop at this point. I'm just going to go ahead and attach to the Cramorant because we don't have to have any rush here. I'm just going to pitch this hand away with the Dedenne-GX. Now, if our opponent plays some sneaky techs, it might be difficult. Or if they play Obstagoon, it might be difficult. Do I want to go search my deck for any 2 cards? Or... yeah, let's just go ahead for it. I'm going to grab a Welder. And a Fire Crystal. Actually, I'm just gonna... yeah, I'm gonna grab Welder and Welder. The reason why I'm growing Welder is just because I think that we're gonna be okay. We probably don't need to get too many fire energies in our discard pile or in play in general. Their Pokemon are gonna typically get knocked out. If this is just a typical deck, we should be okay. I can always Dedenne after using Welder if worse comes to worse. We'll see what our opponent decides to do here. They might not understand the dynamic of our deck, or they might have techs against our deck, or they might just be playing it out to see if this deck's inconsistent enough. I'm honestly not sure. They do have their Decidueye out, so their deck is working very well. So you can see this is stopping the V Pokemon, V Max Pokemon, and GX. But it's not enough for us. Okay, so they got their Decidueye fully set up. So let's see what Welder brings us. Let's go Quick Ball. We don't need Zacian at this point. I am going to go ahead and grab a Jirachi, because we could switch into that and scoop up Net it back up. So you can see Fire Crystal seals the deal on us knocking out this Decidueye. Which is great. A lot of decks just lose to Decidueye. We only need 2 to weakness, 200 to their 170 HP Pokemon. Now, some of these lists might play Weakness Guard, just because Volcanion's a little bit more of a popular Pokemon, but we'll see how it ends up going. Now, our goal is to make sure that we can knock out our opponent's Obstagoon if they play Obstagoon. Okay, so they're going straight into Marnie. It's possible off their 5-card hand that they don't get a Pokemon, and that we'll naturally have win. See how this goes. They're thinking about it. Okay, so they will have a Pokemon. Okay, so they do have Zigzagoon. If they don't have an energy this turn, they won't be able to power it up. Okay, so it is Decidueye Obstagoon. Basic Pokemon can attack. So we're going to have to retreat our Blacephalon Welder onto our Cramorant V and knock it out. And the fact that they're using their Ordinary Rod right now means that we probably have outs. Okay, so let's go ahead here. Let's go Welder onto Cramorant. We are able to get a switch out of the active spots. Now, do I want to play switch? We discard all energy. You all know what? I'm actually okay with that because I could always go Spit Shot. Let's just discard that. It's our second Welder of the game. And I know our opponent has a Dartrix. I don't know what else they have in their hands. They might just be playing until they run out of supporters. It's going to be tough. So there's Professor's Research. And I'm glad they played Ordinary Rod already, because I don't think they get back Zigzagoons or Obstagoons. Oh, actually, if we had knocked out their active Pokemon, they would have likely lost the game. There's the Rowlet. Cool. Probably going to get another Zigzagoon here. Spiritomb. Interesting. Not sure why they play Spiritomb. Maybe it's just because they run Dark Energy already. Maybe their Zigzagoon was only to do extra damage to their Pokemon. But they have Dark Energy? I don't know. It's weird. I'm just going to go ahead here and take the knockout. There's no point of me wasting resources, especially when we're up on prize cards. The fire crystal's cool. Our opponent has no Zigzagoons. We don't really have any immediate threats here. See what our opponent decides to do. The most that they can probably do with Spiritomb is adding an extra 10, which brings them to 70 damage. 70 damage is enough to knock us out. Maybe they could go Zigzagoon Scoop Up Net or something like that. But we'll see how it goes. The fact that they're attacking with Spiritomb shows me that they can attack with Decidueye next turn. So if they're not finding Zigzagoons here, we're okay. Additionally, if they just put down another Pokemon, we're in a good spot. So we only need 1 energy to knock out this Pokemon. So since we need such little energy, I'm going to attach one to the Cramorant, just in case they get a Zigzagoon down. Start manually powering up a Spit Shot. And I'm going to go Fireball Circus for a single energy. So our opponent's really running out of options here. We've been able to play around everything that they've had. It's working out to be a really good game for us. Switch is nice there too. And we could always pitch our hand away for another Dedenne-GX if that's possible. So you can see our opponent does play the Weakness Guard energy. It is possible for us to get 3 energies though. We still have access to 6, 9, 10, another 8 copies in our deck along with 2 copies of Fire Crystal. So I'm assuming our opponent's just going to Rare Candy and maybe just chill on this for a second. I don't know if they're going to try to bench down another route. Okay, so they're going for the full 6 prizes. At this point, we no longer need to worry about Spit Shot because we have 2 prize cards left on board that are obtainable for us to get. Let's just go in with Turffield to just double check to see what we got left in our deck. So we are running a little bit low on resources. That's fine. Let's just go switch right here. We need to get another 2 energies. Let's go switch into Jirachi. We're going to go Stellar Wish. There's our Fire Crystal. Very much necessary. Maybe Turffield, or maybe Giant Hearth's a little bit better. Because we can get the 2 energies. That's 3 energies. Yeah, I like that better. Just going to discard this Jirachi, grab a couple fires. So we have our 3 for the knockout. Scoop Up Net back here into the Jirachi. Putting Jirachi back down. And let's go ahead with Fireball Circus. 1, 2, 3. So weakness, again, no problem because we could just get those large numbers. So we'll see what our opponent does. Maybe they won't be able to get a Rare Candy. They've already done 2, and yeah, they're just going to concede. So as you can see, out of the games that we've played, we were able to beat an ADP. We dead drew super, super, super hard, and then we were able to win against a Decidueye. So we won against 2 favorable matchups, and that's because Baby Blacephalon is probably the best single prize card attacking Pokemon we've ever seen in this game. But at the cost of it being an inconsistent deck. Now, again, I'm not throwing any shade at Jose. Jose is my boy. Jose is a great player. I don't necessarily like this list, especially 19 energies. I think energy retrieval could have been cool. I think there's a lot of things that could have been cool. If there was Victini Prism Star, yeah, maybe I could see 19 energies. Unfortunately, we don't have it. So maybe we'll make some changes with the list in the channel, feature it in a week or 2. And I'll showcase what it's really looking at. As we await Champions Path and other events, the metagame could really shift up over the next little bit. So give this deck a whirl. I mean, it came second at the Hyperluxe events, so it's a valid deck. Baby Blacephalon's back. A lot of decks just don't really die after rotation. You just gotta discover what works. So let me know in the comments below what you would make changes to this deck or anything like that. Until next time, we got a lot of great content. Plan on the Lone Blown. We look forward to seeing you again in the future. Have yourself a great one. Peace out.
Really hope that you enjoyed watching that video. I totally enjoyed making it. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like the video, share the video with everyone that you know, and subscribe to the channel as well. Totally appreciate all the support. We got a lot of cool things happening on the channel, so stay tuned for more. Be sure to check out the social links in the description. Thanks and have yourself a great one.